You've built an agent that works, but works on my machine and ready to ship are two different things. Before this goes to production, running unattended on someone else's money, you want 4 guarantees. That a call can only touch the tools it should, that you can dial up care where it matters, that an unattended run survives a hiccup, and that you can see the bill and clean up after yourself. This is the hardening checklist. Let's walk it. 4 levers turn a prototype into a production agent. First, scope the blast radius. Targeted tools limits a single call to an explicit list of tools, least privilege per invoke. Second, dial the deliberation. The reasoning setting trades a little latency for more care on the calls that actually warrant it. Third, survive transient faults. A scheduled job carries a retry policy, so an unattended fire recovers from a blip instead of silently dying. And fourth, watch the spend and clean up. Read your usage against your plan and release resources when you're done. Scope, deliberate, recover, observe. Let's see them in code. Start with scope. On any invoke, pass targeted tools, a list of the tool names this call is allowed to use. Here, the agent has a price tool, a news tool, and a send alert tool that has a real-world effect. But for a read-only question, we scope the call to just the price tool. The alert is off the table for this invoke by construction. One guard to know. Targeted tools is mutually exclusive with force final tool and with structured output. You're either steering the whole call toward one final shape or you're narrowing the tool surface, not both at once, and mAIvn stops you if you try. Then, deliberation. The reasoning setting goes from minimal through low and medium up to high. Raise it for the genuinely hard calls, a tricky plan, a careful judgment, and leave it low for simple lookups. Think of it as how hard the model thinks before it acts. Now the operational side. For anything that runs unattended, a scheduled job from our scheduling video, you attach a retry policy. Max attempts of 3 counts the first try, so it's the original plus 2 more. An exponential backoff spaces them out. And retry on lists exactly which exceptions are worth retrying. A dropped connection, a timeout, so you retry the blips and fail fast on real bugs. Timeouts themselves live in configuration, not on the call, so you set them once for the whole client. Then, visibility. Build a client and get usage returns your plan and your usage, tokens and requests against your limits, for the billing period, so you can reconcile spend before the invoice does. And because the client is a context manager, the with block releases its connections automatically. For the agent itself, close releases the orchestrator and any MCP servers, and it's safe to call more than once. Let's run it. First, scope. We ask for Apple's price with the call restricted to just the price tool, and it comes back $192.50, using only the tool we allowed. Then the guard. Try to combine targeted tools with force final tool, and mAIvn raises a valuevera immediately. Mutually exclusive, caught before anything runs. Next, observe. Get usage prints the plan, the tokens, and requests used against the limits, and the billing period. Your real spend, live. And finally, cleanup. Close releases the agent's resources, idempotently, and our scheduled retry policy is configured and ready. Scope, guard, observe, clean. The whole checklist in one run. 3 things to keep honest. The reasoning dial changes how hard the model works, but you won't see that difference in a one-line answer. It's a lever you set on intent, the same as the model tiers earlier in the series. Retry belongs to scheduled, unattended runs. It's a per-fire policy on a job, not something a single interactive invoke retries for you. And get usage reads account level billing, so it needs a full access key. A restricted key is rejected by design. Hardening isn't one magic flag. It's these defaults set deliberately before you ship. To recap the checklist, targeted tools scopes each call to least privilege. Reasoning dials deliberation where it counts. A retry policy keeps unattended jobs alive through transient faults. Get usage shows you the spend. And close, with the client's with block, cleans up after you. That's the gap between an agent that demos and an agent you can run in production. And that's the SDK. To close the series, we'll step out of the code and into mAIvn Studio, the visual workspace where you can watch every one of these ideas run, inspect a live execution, and debug an agent end to end. See you for the finale.